Let us drift gently into a world where time softens, and the whispers of ancient women carry wisdom through the ages. Here, in the quiet glow of sacred temples and under the watchful gaze of moonlit skies, we will explore the divine women who guided hearts and spirits long before our world knew their names. Soft winds carry us to forgotten deserts, lush riverbanks, and secret groves, where gentle hands shaped rituals and prayers that still linger in the echoes of history. Each story is a quiet meditation, a tender brush of the past against your soul. Tonight, we will walk slowly through these ancient cults, feeling the rhythm of their devotion, the softness of their love, and the luminous presence of women who held the divine in their hearts. Let us breathe, let us listen, and let us drift. If these stories ease your heart, whisper a comment where you are listening from. And subscribe, so the gentle light of these tales can return to you whenever you need to drift into calm. Softly, the night unfolds. Silver light pours over the hills, touching each stone and leaf with quiet shimmer. A gentle wind carries the scent of jasmine and wild herbs, drifting across a river that moves slow and silver beneath the moon's gaze. You float above the water, feeling its cool touch in your mind, as if the river itself hums a lullaby meant only for dreaming hearts. In a clearing by the riverbank, the moon priestess stands. Her robes, pale as mist, sway like slow waves in the evening air. The moonlight dances upon her hair, turning each strand into threads of soft silver. Her hands rise and fall, tracing invisible circles in the air. With every motion, the world seems to sigh, a quiet hush settling over the hills and woods beyond. The priestess begins her chant. It is low, smooth, like water flowing over stones. Her voice ripples across the river, over the reeds, touching the sleeping trees. Each syllable feels like a drop of moonlight landing on your eyelids, gentle and warm. The cadence of her chant follows the rhythm of tides, of breathing, of the quiet heart of the earth. You feel the pull of the moon in her song. It is soft, not commanding, but present. It drifts through your chest like a calm wave, drawing you into the gentle sway of night. Each note is a soft echo of the cycles that have been held for countless years. The waxing and waning, the quiet returning, the gentle illumination that always follows darkness. The river reflects her voice. It bends and curves, carrying the chant through reeds and over smooth stones. Tiny fish, their scales glinting faintly, move in silent arcs beneath the surface. The priestess's song seems to guide them, as if all creatures of the night recognize the sacred rhythm of her words. Even the trees seem to lean closer, their leaves whispering in the wind as though answering her call. Above, the stars tremble slightly, distant and soft, as if listening. Constellations, like threads of silver, trace slow arcs across the sky. The priestess pauses, hands raised toward the moon, and the night deepens. Her eyes, calm and luminous, hold a stillness that invites your own spirit to rest. Here, under the gentle glow, all worry drifts away, leaving only the hush of breath, the pulse of water, and the tender rhythm of the moon's lullaby. She moves slowly now, stepping toward the river. Her feet barely disturb the soft grass. Each step is measured, deliberate, a silent prayer of presence. She dips her hands into the water, and the river seems to sigh, a soft rush that mirrors her movements. Tiny ripples extend outward, catching the moonlight and scattering it like a delicate sprinkle of stardust. In this quiet, you notice small creatures stirring. Frogs shift among the reeds, their low croaks mingling with the priestess's song. Night birds call softly from hidden branches, adding their own gentle notes. Even the wind seems to listen, carrying the scent of pine and damp earth to the farthest edges of the clearing. Everything bends gently around her rhythm, as if the night itself breathes to the beat of her heart. The moon priestess's chant changes subtly. It rises, then falls, a gentle arc that mirrors the moon's own passage across the sky. Her voice touches something deep within the mind, like a memory that has always been there, waiting to be remembered. It is a memory of calm, of water moving silently, of leaves brushing against one another in tender companionship. You float there, letting each note settle, letting your shoulders relax, letting your heartbeat slow. She brings her hands together, palms brushing. A single silver candle flickers into life, standing on a stone altar near the riverbank. Its flame is soft, wavering, casting shadows that move slowly, lazily, like clouds drifting across the moon. The priestess leans closer, whispering her final words of the chant, letting them flow into the water. The river receives them, carrying them downstream like a gentle promise. In this sacred night, the moon priestess offers a lullaby not just for the world, but for every quiet soul who listens. It is a lullaby of cycles and tides, of shadows that pass and light that remains. Each note is an invitation to release, to drift, to remember the quiet rhythm that exists in every breath. You feel it in your hands, your feet, your chest. It is everywhere and nowhere, a soft presence wrapping the mind in calm. Softly, she kneels beside the altar, letting her robe spread around her like mist pooling on the earth. Her eyes close, and the wind carries the scent of her herbs across the river. You notice your own breath slowing, matching the tide, matching the whisper of reeds against water. Even your heartbeat seems to sync with the priestess's song, a gentle echo of the sacred rhythm that has carried humans, rivers, and stars alike for millennia. The moon arcs higher. Its light grows warmer and more gentle, spilling like honey over the hills. You float above the clearing, seeing the priestess as a luminous figure of calm, the river as a silver ribbon, and the trees as silent sentinels. Each moment stretches soft and slow, like liquid time, letting sleep edge closer, softening the corners of thought. A soft drum begins, distant and low. It is not loud, not insistent, but subtle, like a heartbeat of the earth itself. The priestess lifts her hands, tracing the circle of the moon with a tender movement. Each drumbeat seems to echo in your chest, a quiet reminder that all things are connected. Water, moonlight, trees, stars, and you. There is no rush, no hurry, only the tender unfolding of night and the deep, slow calm of being exactly where you are. The river reflects the moon in quiet waves. You watch silver shimmer across the dark water, each ripple like a soft memory, each reflection a gentle promise that the world is still, the night is safe, and your soul can rest. The priestess hums, softly now, a wordless tone that seems to wrap the night in warmth. You drift with it, feeling your mind float free, light as moon dust carried over hills and rivers. A night owl calls somewhere in the distance. Its voice is soft and steady, blending with the chant, the rippling water, and the faint drumbeat. The stars pulse gently, their light slowing to match the rhythm of breath and water. You feel yourself merge with the calm of the clearing, the smooth flow of the river, the tender watch of the moon. Each sound, each movement, each note of the lullaby draws you further into the soft embrace of night. The priestess tilts her head slightly, as if listening to a faraway whisper. Her lips part in a final, soft chant. The wind carries it through the trees, through the reeds, over the river, and into your mind. It is a whisper of safety, of presence, of quiet light in the darkness. You feel the world exhale, and you exhale with it, letting go of tension, worry, and thought. The candle flickers once more, then softens to a gentle glow. The priestess lowers her hands, palms resting on the altar. Her breathing is calm, slow, like the rise and fall of tides. You feel your own chest rise and fall in perfect time, a mirror of the river, the moon, and the sacred rhythm she has offered. The world is hushed. The night is tender. Your heart is quiet. Let us drift onward with the river, letting its silver light carry us gently through the night. Let the moon priestess's lullaby rest upon your spirit, soft as mist, steady as the tide. Now rest as the stars return to their places, and the gentle pulse of moonlight guides you toward dream and calm. And so, the night continues, slow and infinite, carrying the soft whispers of ancient devotion. You are cradled by silver waters, by the hush of leaves, by the steady hand of the moon priestess, whose lullaby will linger in your mind like soft wind on still water. Drift now, drift deeper, and let the quiet, luminous night carry you into sleep. The night drifts softly over the hills. Shadows stretch long, and silver moonlight spills gently across moss-covered stones. You float along a quiet path, where the air carries the faint scent of incense and the soft, earthy smell of ancient stone. Each step feels lighter, as if the earth itself is guiding you toward calm. Ahead, the silhouette of a temple appears. Its walls are worn by time, yet they glow softly in the moonlight, as if the stones themselves hold memory. Light flickers through, tall, narrow windows spilling onto the ground in gentle ribbons. You hear a faint hum, a chant so soft it is almost like the earth exhaling. The temple is alive with whispers, yet everything moves slowly in quiet harmony. Inside, the air is warm and still. Candles burn in clusters, their flames small and patient. Each flicker casts delicate shadows that sway across the carved walls. The carvings are of women in flowing robes, hands lifted in prayer, eyes closed in gentle devotion. Their faces are serene, each curve of stone speaking softly of calm and care. You feel your breathing slow, matching the rhythm of the candlelight that dances upon the walls. Soft footsteps echo on stone floors. Women move with deliberate grace, their gestures gentle, as though each action is a prayer in itself. A hand touches a carved relief. A soft whisper brushes the edge of a candle. You float near them, noticing the tenderness in every movement. It is a temple built not with force or grandeur, but with care, patience, and devotion. Each gesture carries centuries of quiet worship, each breath a lullaby of peace. The priestesses begin their chant. Their voices rise and fall, a gentle wave that carries across the hall. It is not loud, not demanding, but soothing. The chant wraps around you, curling like soft smoke around your shoulders. You feel each note settle inside, like soft light spreading across a calm lake. The echoes ripple through the arches, through the columns, through your mind, leaving nothing but the slow, steady pulse of calm. You drift past rows of stone pillars, each carved with delicate patterns of flowers and stars. Moonlight filters through high windows, falling on the carvings in soft silver. You notice how the women's shadows stretch along the walls, mingling with the carvings, blurring the line between stone and life, past and present. It is as though the temple itself breathes gently, alive with memory, prayer, and light. A small bell rings softly. Its tone is low, tender, and lingering. The women respond with gentle movement, bowing and swaying. The sound travels across the hall, brushing against the carved faces and the candlelight, carrying a sense of quiet joy. You feel it in your chest, a vibration that loosens tension, that invites rest. Each gentle note is a reminder that peace is present, here and now, in the soft folds of shadow and flame. In the corner, a basin of water glows faintly in the candlelight. The women dip their hands into it, letting droplets fall slowly back into the still surface. Each ripple spreads outward, tiny rings of silver moving across the water. You drift closer, imagining the soft touch of each drop, the quiet symmetry of each movement, and you feel your thoughts spread and settle, like ripples fading into calm. The chanting continues, blending with the soft scrape of stone against stone as the priestesses kneel and rise. Their robes rustle softly, a sound like whispering wind. The rhythm is gentle, measured, and it reaches into the quiet corners of your mind. Each gesture, each note, each flicker of flame carries with it a tender reminder that devotion, when quiet and gentle, becomes a sanctuary. Above, the moonlight shifts slightly, slipping through the window in new angles. Shadows stretch, contract, and sway. The carvings seem to breathe. You notice the eyes of stone women in mid-prayer, and they seem to look directly at you, not with demand, but with the soft understanding of someone who has waited patiently for centuries. There is nothing to fear here, nothing to grasp, only the calm rhythm of presence and light. You float to the center of the temple. The floors are cool beneath your mind, and the candlelight reflects softly across the high ceiling. There is a small altar, simple yet radiant, with clusters of candles and bowls of fresh herbs. The women kneel in a quiet circle around it, their voices merging in a gentle hymn. The sound is a slow, flowing river of tone, rising and falling like the night itself breathing. You notice the scent of lavender and myrrh. It drifts through the air, soft and subtle, weaving into the chant. Each breath you take feels lighter, softer, as though you are inhaling peace itself. The soft warmth of the temple wraps around you, a tender cocoon of stone and flame, scent and song. You feel safe. You feel cradled. You feel the weight of thought and worry slowly slide away. A priestess moves forward, placing a small candle on the altar. Her fingers hover, lingering over the flame. She closes her eyes and her lips part in a soft murmur, a prayer that seems to bend and float with the air. You hear it as a gentle hum, the kind that vibrates quietly in your chest. It reaches the far corners of the temple, touching every carved face, every stone, every shadow. It reaches you. The room seems to exhale. Shadows bend and shift. The candle flames flicker with tender patience, and the air hums softly with devotion. You drift along with it, a quiet presence among quiet presences. You notice the smallest details, the curve of a hand, the faint ripple of a robe, the tiny sparks of dust in the sunbeam of moonlight. Each small thing carries a sense of calm, a sense of rhythm, a sense of gentle order. Time slows here. There is no hurry, no noise, no pressing light. The temple exists in its own quiet cycle, moving with the breath of the moon, the whisper of the wind, the hum of quiet devotion. You feel yourself sinking into the flow of this gentle rhythm. Your chest rises and falls with the soft movement of candlelight, with the slow waves of whispered hymns. A soft flute joins the chant, its sound light and airy, like wind across glass. It swirls around the hall, curling through arches and over the water basin. You feel it brush your mind, touching memories of calm, of gentle rivers, of long nights where moonlight rested soft on your shoulders. The priestesses nod slightly, eyes closed, letting the music carry them, letting it carry the temple, letting it carry you. The bell rings again. Its tone is clear and calm, spreading in waves of silver. The women respond with a final sweep of movement, hands tracing gentle arcs through the air, fingers brushing over stone carvings and flickering candlelight. Their hymn softens, the flute fades, and only the gentle hum of air and the slow breathing of the night remain. You drift toward the high windows. The moon hangs just above the temple, soft and luminous. Its light spills across the floor, across your mind, across the quiet water in the basin. You feel the rhythm of the temple in your chest, a slow, steady calm that moves through you like water over smooth stones. It is the kind of calm that does not ask for anything, does not push, does not hurry. It simply rests, and lets you rest with it. You notice the carvings one last time, faces soft and serene, hands in prayer, robes flowing in invisible wind. They seem to smile faintly, a quiet acknowledgement that you have arrived, that you are here, that you can rest. Each detail of the temple, the stone, the candlelight, the chant, the moonlight, wraps around you in soft, slow layers, like gentle blankets for your mind and heart. The temple exhales one final time. Candles flicker, shadows stretch and fade. The air hums with the memory of the chants, the soft motion of hands and feet, the gentle presence of devoted souls. You drift with it, floating above the stone floors, carried by the rhythm of whispered light. Let us drift onward through the quiet halls, leaving behind only the soft warmth of devotion. Let the gentle hum of candlelight and the soft rhythm of prayer carry you deeper, as the moon continues its slow passage across the sky. Now rest as the stars return and the temples of whispered light hold you in their tender embrace. The night moves softly, like water over stones. The temple sleeps, the priestesses rest, and your mind drifts, cradled by stone, by flame, by gentle devotion, and by the eternal calm of whispered light. Sleep comes slowly, quietly, fully, as the soft rhythm of this sacred place carries you into dream. The night lies quiet over the hills, soft and still. A silver ribbon of river winds through the valley, reflecting the gentle glow of the moon. Its surface ripples slowly, carrying whispers of ancient stories, unseen but felt. You drift above the water, feeling the calm pulse of the river as if it mirrors the gentle rhythm of your own breathing. Along its banks, soft grasses bend in the wind. The air smells faintly of water lilies and moss, cool and tender against your skin. Fireflies hover in lazy arcs, their tiny lights blinking like secret messages in the dark. The river moves without hurry, and your mind begins to move with it, easing into the quiet, unbroken flow. Near the water's edge, women kneel on smooth stones. Their robes are pale, flowing like gentle waves. Each woman dips her hands into the river, letting droplets fall back softly, carrying small offerings of flowers, grains, and scented oils. The motion is slow, deliberate, sacred. You sense that the river knows each touch, each gesture, and cradles it in its endless, patient current. A faint song rises with the river's breath. The women hum in soft harmony, their voices blending with the gentle gurgle of water over stone. The chant carries through the reeds, across small pools, and into the quiet forest beyond. Each note feels like a ripple moving outward, brushing your mind with warmth and serenity. You let your shoulders relax, letting the soft vibrations seep into the corners of your chest. The river seems to respond. Tiny waves fold over each other, creating delicate patterns of light and shadow. You watch as petals from the offerings drift on the surface, spinning slowly before dissolving into the water. Each blossom is a small blessing, a quiet gift to the endless flow of life. You feel their calm touch, like a soft hand resting gently on your heart. Above, the moon arcs across the sky. Its reflection stretches across the river in a silver path that leads your eyes and your thoughts downstream. You notice the subtle changes in color as night deepens. The faint blush of clouds, the dark green of trees, the shimmer of water caught in a moonbeam. Each moment stretches slowly, like a soft sigh, and the river holds it gently, never rushing. The women rise together, hands lifted to the sky. Their motions are fluid, like ripples in the water, rising and falling in a quiet rhythm. They sprinkle grains into the river, letting them float away. Each grain seems to carry a prayer, a quiet wish for healing, for peace, for guidance. The river receives them, cradling each one in its silent current. You sense the blessing spread outward, beyond the riverbanks, beyond the forest, beyond the hills, reaching even the farthest stars. A small bird lands on a nearby branch. It watches quietly, its feathers catching silver light. The bird seems to understand the sacred rhythm of the river, pausing to rest, breathing with the water's flow. You feel your own spirit moving with the bird, floating softly above the river, following its gentle arc, learning the quiet ways of the world. The women begin a soft chant again. This time it is slower, almost a whisper. Their voices weave with the murmuring water, creating a tapestry of sound that seems to hold every secret of the river. You float along the current, carried by the tender weight of this sound, letting it settle deep into your mind. Each note is a small wave, gentle and persistent, washing over thought and worry. In a shallow pool, the women place floating lanterns. The small lights drift slowly, bobbing with the rhythm of the water. Their soft glow reflects in your eyes, warming your mind with gentle flickers of light. Each lantern is a blessing carried by the river, a quiet offering to the night, a gentle reminder that all things are held in the flow of life. The river bends, and you follow it into a quiet cove. Here the water pools deeper, still and luminous. The women kneel along the edges, letting their hands brush the surface. Tiny fish shimmer beneath the surface, moving like liquid stars. The priestess's soft chant rises and falls, echoing through the cove, blending with the soft rustle of reeds and the distant call of a night bird. The sound is a cradle, a soft rocking motion that invites calm and rest. Above, the stars begin to reflect faintly on the water. Each one seems to tremble, catching the silver glow of the moon and multiplying it across the river's surface. You feel the light brushing your skin, delicate and tender, like a gentle hand tracing the outline of your thoughts. The river's movement mirrors the pulse of your own breathing, slow, steady, soothing. A soft wind drifts through the cove, carrying the scent of water and wildflowers. The women lift their hands, letting the breeze brush over their palms, over their faces, over the offerings floating in the water. You sense the river itself inhaling and exhaling, moving with the wind, moving with the moonlight, moving with the slow, peaceful energy of devotion. The priestesses bow their heads, and the chant softens. Each note lingers, like a drop of water suspended in the air before falling. You feel each note sink into your mind, dissolving worry, softening thought, leaving only calm. The river mirrors their devotion, moving slowly over stones, over pebbles, over shadows, carrying the essence of their prayers onward. Small ripples spread outward, carrying the blessings through the water. You notice each reflection, the curve of a hand, the shimmer of a lantern, the silver moonlight on the river. Every detail is gentle, precise, slow. Your eyes close slightly, drifting as the river carries the images into the soft, quiet spaces of your mind. The women rise again, stepping softly along the riverbank. Their robes brush the tall grasses, leaving tiny waves in their wake. Each step is careful, rhythmic, sacred. The river follows as if moved by their devotion, carrying the echoes of their steps in slow, silver ripples. You drift along the water, feeling your chest rise and fall with its gentle pulse. A faint drumbeat begins, distant and low. It blends with the water's movement, with the soft hum of the women's voices. Each beat is like the river's heartbeat, steady, patient, reassuring. You feel it deep in your chest, a soft vibration that echoes through your mind, loosening tension, inviting rest. The river widens, embracing small tributaries that feed into it. You float among them, noticing the delicate patterns of water meeting water, each current blending softly with the next. The priestesses release their final blessings into these tributaries, letting them join the main flow. You sense each prayer carried gently downstream, merging into the endless rhythm of the river, the rhythm of life, the rhythm of calm. Moonlight glints off the water one last time. The ripples shimmer like a field of silver stars, each one holding a quiet memory, a soft blessing. The women kneel again, hands pressed together in silent devotion, and the river seems to bow with them, reflecting the tenderness of their hearts. You feel yourself enveloped in the same calm, a quiet echo of devotion cradling your spirit. The chant fades slowly, blending with the soft rush of water, with the whisper of reeds, with the gentle call of nightbirds. You float above the river, carried by its flow, soothed by the soft rhythm of its movement. Every ripple, every flicker of light, every gentle sound is a reminder that life moves slowly, tenderly, and that your soul is held within its currents. Let us drift onward with the river, carrying its silent blessings deep into the night. Let the water's gentle flow brush your mind and heart, letting go of tension, letting go of thought, letting go of all that does not serve calm. Now rest as the stars return, and the soft, eternal river cradles you in its tender, luminous embrace. The river moves on, quiet and infinite. The women rest on its banks. The moon watches overhead, and your spirit drifts, carried by silver waters and whispered blessings, into dream, into calm, into gentle, restorative sleep. Night drifts over the desert like soft silk. The air is cool, yet carries the warmth of sun-soaked sands from the day. You float above the dunes, feeling the soft curves beneath the moonlight, each grain of sand catching silver in tiny, quiet reflections. The sky stretches wide, endless, velvet dark, sprinkled with stars that shimmer like whispers of long-forgotten stories. Along the horizon, small figures appear. Women move slowly across the sands, their robes flowing like gentle waves. They gather in a wide circle, arms raised, faces turned toward the heavens. The moon casts its soft glow upon them, and the stars seem to bend closer. Listening to the quiet devotion below, you drift closer, carried by the gentle rhythm of the desert night, and feel the calm that spreads in its quiet presence. A soft chant begins, rising and falling like the curves of the dunes themselves. The women sway gently, their movements in harmony with the desert winds. Each step presses lightly into the sand, leaving delicate imprints that shimmer faintly under the starlight. Every motion is careful, reverent, as though the ground itself is sacred. You feel your own spirit lifted, moving slowly with the rhythm of their circle. The stars above seem to respond. Tiny constellations tremble faintly, glimmering as if nodding in quiet approval. The desert stretches endlessly beyond the circle, silent and patient, holding every gesture, every note of the chant, every flicker of candle or torchlight in tender memory. The vastness of the night makes each movement, each sound, all the more intimate, all the more soothing. The women begin to sing. Their voices rise softly, mingling with the whispering wind and the faint rustle of dry grasses. The song carries through the dunes like a river of light, brushing over every hill and hollow. You float above the circle, letting the melody wrap around your mind, letting it brush away tension, leaving only the warmth of calm and the slow rhythm of devotion. In the center of the circle, a small fire flickers, Its flames are gentle, bending with the soft desert wind. The women move around it in slow, deliberate arcs. Their hands trace circles in the air, fingers brushing invisible currents of light. Each motion seems to hold a prayer, a blessing, a quiet magic that has lingered in the desert for countless nights. You feel the heat of the fire softly on your mind, a gentle pulse that moves with the rhythm of their song. Small lanterns sway from nearby poles, casting flickering shadows across the sand. Each shadow moves slowly, stretching and shrinking as if breathing with the fire. The women's movements cast shapes that mingle with the darkness, delicate and fluid. You notice how the circle itself seems alive. Not just the women, not just the stars, but the sand, the air, the quiet desert night. Everything moves together in a soft, gentle harmony. A distant drum begins, low and steady. Its sound is tender, echoing through the dunes like the heartbeat of the earth itself. The women respond, swaying more gently now, letting the drum guide their motions. Each beat touches your chest, a soft vibration that matches the rhythm of your own breath. You feel yourself floating with the circle, weightless, cradled by the steady pulse of the desert night. The women kneel slowly, placing small offerings into the sand. Tiny bowls of water, petals, and fragrant oils rest at their feet, each a quiet gift to the stars, to the earth, to the unseen forces that guide the night. The firelight glints off the offerings, turning each one into a tiny, luminous blessing. You feel the energy of the circle sweep over you, a gentle wave of calm and light, settling softly into every corner of your mind. Above, the stars twinkle with quiet patience. You notice the patterns they form, lines, arcs, circles, reflecting the movement of the women below. Each star feels like a silent guide, a witness to devotion, a gentle reminder that all actions of love and care ripple outward in subtle, infinite ways. You drift with the sky, carried by the soft pulse of starlight, feeling the connection between earth and heavens, between human heart and the vast night. The chant continues, slower now, each note hanging in the air like dew. The women lift their hands to the sky, letting their palms brush the wind. Their faces are serene, calm, luminous in the firelight. You feel the blessing of their presence touch your own spirit, a gentle warmth spreading through your chest and along your arms, soft as the desert air brushing your skin. Small creatures stir in the sand. Tiny lizards slide between shadows, night insects hum softly, and a gentle breeze brushes against scattered shrubs. All is still, yet all is alive. The desert seems to hold every detail, every sound, every movement, letting nothing be lost. The circle of women and the vast, quiet land move together in a rhythm older than memory, soft as moonlight and tender as breath. The fire flickers, and the flames reflect on the women's faces, soft and tender. Each movement, each gesture, each note of song seems to ripple across the sand, leaving patterns that the night will keep. You drift with it all, floating above the desert, carried by the slow, gentle motion of devotion and quiet magic. The drum slows. The chant softens. The women kneel one last time, heads bowed, hands resting gently in the sand. Their shadows stretch long and thin across the dunes, mingling with the silver light of stars and moon. The air hums softly, a quiet resonance that seems to hold every blessing, every prayer, every gentle intention of the night. You notice how the lanterns sway slightly in the breeze, casting soft, moving light across the circle. The fire settles to gentle embers. The women rise slowly, hands touching the sand, touching the air, touching the energy of the night with quiet reverence. Each movement is careful, deliberate, a final whisper of devotion before rest. The desert exhales. The dunes soften in shadow. The stars pulse gently. The night air wraps around you. You float among the sand and the firelight, among the soft rhythm of the drum and the whispered song. Each detail, each movement, each blessing becomes a part of you, cradling your spirit in the infinite, tender embrace of the desert night. Let us drift onward with the rhythm of the circle, carried by the stars and the gentle pulse of earth and sand. Let the quiet magic of devotion touch your mind and heart, softening thought, easing worry, inviting rest. Now rest as the stars return, and the desert holds you in its patient, luminous embrace. The night moves gently forward, like slow waves across the dunes. The women settle near the fire, the lanterns sway softly, the moon watches above. You drift with them, carried by the calm pulse of the desert, enveloped in its quiet circles, embraced by the tender, endless rhythm of stars and sacred devotion. Sleep comes slowly, fully, quietly, as the desert night whispers blessings into your dreaming mind. The forest at twilight breathes softly, a slow, tender exhale. Shadows stretch long across moss-covered stones, and the air is fragrant with the scent of earth and fallen leaves. You drift along a winding path, feeling the gentle pulse of the grove beneath your mind, each step lighter than the last. Moonlight slips through the branches, forming delicate patterns on the forest floor, like silver lace cast by unseen hands. Deep within the grove, a soft glow appears. Women move among the trees, their faces partly hidden behind translucent veils. The veils shimmer faintly, catching slivers of moonlight, and each movement seems a dance between shadow and light. They do not hide behind the fabric. Instead, it flows with them, revealing the quiet, sacred energy that surrounds them. You float closer, sensing the calm that radiates from every gesture. A gentle hum rises from the circle. The women kneel on soft moss, their hands resting lightly upon small bowls of water and petals. The chant is slow, each note lingering like mist between the trees. You notice the way the veils ripple with the hum, the soft folds moving as if the air itself carries their devotion. Each breath of theirs feels mirrored in your own chest, slow and steady, soft as the shadows around you. The grove seems alive with memory. Every tree, every stone, every whisper of wind holds the echoes of countless nights like this one. The women's hands trace gentle arcs in the air, fingers brushing invisible currents of light. Each movement carries a prayer, a blessing, a quiet story passed down through time. You drift alongside them, feeling the reverence of centuries pressing softly against your mind like a warm, protective blanket. In the center of the grove, a small fire flickers, its glow soft and patient. Tiny sparks rise into the night air, caught by the veils and the branches, dancing slowly before fading. The women lift their hands toward the fire, letting the soft light touch their palms, their faces, their hearts. You feel the warmth extend outward, brushing your spirit with gentle reassurance. Each flicker carries a memory, a whisper, a small luminous blessing. Soft drums begin, low and steady, blending with the gentle hum of the chant. Each beat is like a heartbeat in the grove itself, slow and deliberate. The women sway, letting the rhythm guide them, letting it flow through the folds of their veils, through the curve of their gestures, through the soft shadows that stretch between the trees. You drift with the rhythm, letting it carry tension and worry away, leaving only calm. Petals float on the small pools of water, tiny mirrors of the firelight. The women touch them gently, tracing circles in the water with careful, deliberate hands. The ripples extend outward, carrying reflections of the moon, the fire, and the veils that shimmer with quiet devotion. You watch as each movement seems to ripple through the grove itself, softening the edges of shadow, bending the air into stillness, cradling your mind in its slow, quiet flow. The veils shift as women rise, their movements deliberate and smooth. They step lightly over moss and stone, forming patterns in the grove as old as memory. Each step is a meditation, each gesture a prayer. You notice the subtle sway of the fabric, the way it captures light, the way it seems to carry whispers of divine presence. You float above, letting their rhythm guide you, letting their calm echo in your own chest. The chant softens, slower now, each note lingering like a droplet suspended in the air before falling. The drums follow, fading to a gentle pulse, low and patient. The grove listens, holding every sound in quiet reverence. Shadows bend and stretch toward the firelight, leaning softly over the moss and petals, curling around the small pools. Wrapping the entire space in the hush of devotion, the women kneel again, hands pressing lightly into the earth. Their faces half-veiled glow in the gentle firelight. They whisper names, blessings, and thanks to the unseen forces of the grove. Each word is a soft vibration, a ripple through the trees, the fire, the earth. You feel the words touch your spirit, brushing away lingering thoughts, smoothing the edges of your mind, leaving a quiet, expansive calm. Above, the moon arcs slowly across the sky. Its light filters through the veils, through the branches, through the delicate movements of the women. Every shadow, every ripple of fabric, every subtle movement seems to glow with quiet power. The grove itself seems to breathe along with the rhythm of their devotion, inhaling the hum, exhaling soft, luminous energy that settles gently around you. A small lantern is lifted toward the sky. Its flame dances in the folds of a veil, flickering like a soft star caught in a gentle wind. The women release it carefully, letting it rise, drifting slowly upward until it joins the moonlight, blending with stars above. You feel the gentle rise of your own breath echo with it. A quiet lifting, a soft descent into calm, floating above shadow and light. The water in the small pools trembles softly, reflecting moonlight, firelight, and lantern light in delicate waves. Tiny ripples spread outward, carrying the soft reflections into the surrounding grove. The women's hands trace gentle arcs in the water, each movement careful, reverent, precise. You feel the ripples touch your mind, quieting thought, softening tension, leaving only the slow, steady calm of presence and devotion. Soft wind drifts through the grove, brushing the veils, bending the branches, carrying the faint scent of flowers and earth. The women lift their hands again, palms open, letting the wind pass over them. Each gesture seems to capture a fragment of the night, a memory of past devotion, a whisper of eternal presence. You float with them, letting the wind carry you, letting it brush away the weight of the day, letting it leave only gentle, luminous calm. The chant fades almost entirely, leaving only the soft murmur of the wind and the gentle rustle of veils. The women settle onto the moss, their hands resting in their laps. Shadows bend close around them, embracing their forms in quiet reverence. Firelight flickers low, casting soft golden tones over the delicate folds of fabric and the quiet stillness of the grove. You feel yourself embraced by the same calm, a slow, steady tide of rest washing over your mind. The veils shift one last time, softly, like clouds brushing the moon. The women bow their heads in silent devotion. The fire glows gently. The water holds the reflection of stars and candlelight, and the grove listens, cradling every motion, every whisper, every soft intention. You drift above it all, weightless, carried by the rhythm of the night, by the gentle pulse of devotion, by the tender, endless presence of sacred mystery. Let us drift onward with the quiet flow of the grove, carried by veils, shadows, and soft moonlight. Let the calm of devotion, of gentle ritual, of whispered wisdom settle in your mind and heart. Now rest as the stars return, and the sacred mystery of the night holds you in its patient, luminous embrace. The night moves softly, like a gentle hand brushing across velvet. The fire rests, the veils fold, the trees stand quiet. You drift with the grove, carried by the soft, rhythmic pulse of whispered prayers, touched by shadow, light, and the sacred calm that has endured through countless nights. Sleep. The evening settles softly over the village, and the scent of earth and wood rises gently into the air. You drift along quiet streets where soft light spills from open doors, flickering across stone and timber. In the distance, a temple glows with the warm shimmer of candlelight. The air hums softly with quiet devotion, and you feel your spirit begin to soften, carried by the gentle rhythm of night. Inside the temple, the hearth burns eternal. Its flames rise and fall with quiet patience, warm and steady. Women kneel before it, hands resting lightly near the gentle heat. Their eyes follow the flicker as if listening to a voice only the heart can hear. The fire moves slowly, curling like a living spirit, responding to every breath, every motion, every quiet intention. You drift closer, letting the warmth brush your mind and chest, a tender comfort that settles gently into your soul. Each flame tells a story. Tiny sparks rise and fall, carrying whispers of devotion from ages past. The women feed the fire slowly, placing incense, dried herbs, and small offerings into the hearth. Every gesture is deliberate, rhythmic, filled with reverence. You notice how the light bends softly across the temple walls, dancing over carved stones, illuminating shadows in gentle, moving patterns. The fire's pulse seems to match the slow beat of your own heart. Soft chants begin, low and steady, weaving with the subtle crackle of the flames. The women's voices rise and fall, blending with the warmth of the fire, carrying a calm energy that fills every corner of the temple. Each note brushes your spirit, smoothing edges of thought, softening tension, inviting rest. You float above the hearth, carried by the gentle currents of song, warm air, and quiet light. The women move with careful grace. Hands extend to feed the fire, then fold in prayer. Robes sway slowly with each motion, brushing the floor softly. Each flicker of the flame seems to respond, bending and curling around their presence. as though the fire itself is aware of their devotion. You feel the rhythm of their actions wrap around you, a tender embrace, a quiet story of warmth, of care, of spiritual light. Above the hearth, small lanterns sway in the gentle air. Their glow mingles with the flame, casting soft, dancing shadows on the temple walls. Each shadow stretches and folds like a slow, breathing rhythm. The women's faces, illuminated by firelight, glow softly with focus and calm. You notice how each line, each curve, each flicker of expression seems sacred, as if every movement is a hymn sung in silence. The fire responds to the offerings, lifting small sparks toward the ceiling, tiny points of light that twinkle and fade. They are like stars descending into the room, gentle and fleeting, carrying devotion from the women's hands into the quiet air above. You drift with the sparks, moving slowly upward, feeling the warmth and soft light brush your face and mind, leaving behind a sense of calm that deepens with every heartbeat. A distant wind drifts through the open doors and windows, rustling curtains and causing small flames to dance gently. The women adjust their hands, moving in sync with the fire's rhythm, their motions slow, careful, precise. The hearth seems alive, not just wood and flame, but spirit and devotion echoing in the quiet air, in the soft crackle of embers, in the tender glow that settles into every shadow. Petals of incense rise in thin streams, curling like gentle ribbons through the air. Their scent is soft, warm, comforting, filling every corner of the temple. The women breathe in the fragrance, then exhale slowly, their voices rising again in soft, meditative chant. The fire responds, flames leaning slightly toward the offering, flickering in acknowledgement of the care given, reflecting the energy of patience and devotion back into the space. Hands move over small bowls of oil and water, drawing patterns before placing them into the hearth. Each drop causes a ripple in the flame, a small shift in the light. The women's gestures are soft, deliberate, like painting the air with devotion. You float above the scene, carried by the rhythm of motion, the glow of fire, the rise and fall of breath. Every detail becomes a lullaby, each movement a gentle note that settles into your spirit. The firelight stretches across stone walls, casting moving shadows that curve like soft waves. You watch as the temple seems to breathe with the flame, inhaling warmth, exhaling calm. The women kneel again, heads bowed, palms resting lightly near the hearth. The room hums with quiet energy, a soft resonance that vibrates through your mind, easing thoughts, loosening tension, inviting a gentle surrender to rest. A small drum begins, low and tender, blending softly with the crackle of the flames. Each beat is slow, steady, like the pulse of the temple itself, or the heartbeat of the world outside. The women sway gently with the rhythm, hands extending to touch the fire, to trace the edges of warmth, to follow the pulse of devotion. You feel your own chest rise and fall with the drum, your breathing soft and steady, echoing the calm of the hearth. Above the hearth, a single flame rises taller than the rest, steady and bright. The women extend their hands toward it, palms open, faces serene. The fire seems to bend toward them, a gentle, luminous presence responding to care, devotion, and attention. You sense that each flicker holds a story, of warmth shared, of guidance offered, of quiet strength held through long nights. Each spark is a gift, each glow a whisper, each movement a blessing carried to the heart of all who watch. Lanterns sway slightly, shadows bend slowly across the temple floor, and the women move with deliberate grace. Their voices soften, rising and falling in a gentle cadence that matches the pulse of flame and drum. Every flicker of light, every movement of hand and veil, every exhaled breath becomes part of the rhythm of the night, a meditation in motion, a lullaby for the spirit, a tender cradle for your mind. The fire responds to the calm devotion, settling into a steady, warm glow. Sparks rise and fade gently, curling like tiny ribbons before disappearing. The women kneel once more, their hands pressed lightly together near the hearth. The temple seems to hold its breath, attentive, reverent, filled with the quiet energy of countless nights devoted to tending the flame, to holding light, to keeping warmth alive. The smoke rises slowly, curling in delicate streams, carrying the scent of incense and wood. Each wisp drifts upward, dispersing into the night air, carrying soft prayers, silent wishes, gentle stories. You float with it, carried by the upward drift, feeling the calm spread through every part of you. touching mind and body, softening thought, quieting concern. The women rise slowly, hands brushing lightly over the hearth, touching warmth and light, grounding themselves in the soft rhythm of devotion. They settle near the edges of the fire, palms resting gently on knees, eyes reflecting the glow. The temple is alive with quiet energy, each flame, each shadow, each breath part of a gentle story of care, patience, and luminous presence. You drift with it all, weightless, carried by the tender pulse of sacred light. Let us drift onward with the rhythm of the hearth, carried by flickering flames, soft chants, and gentle drums. Let the warmth of devotion, the quiet presence of fire, and the patient light of care settle into your mind and heart. Now rest as the stars return, and the eternal flame cradles you in its tender, luminous embrace. The night stretches quietly, each ember a soft point of light, each breath of air gentle and steady. The women rest beside the hearth, the temple listens, and you float above it all, held by the soft, rhythmic glow of devotion. Sleep comes fully, deeply, quietly, as the fire's gentle pulse becomes the pulse of your own peaceful, resting spirit. The evening sun dips low, brushing the sky with soft hues of rose and gold. You drift along a winding path where the air is fragrant with earth and flowers. The garden stretches wide, gentle and still, each leaf and blossom resting in quiet patience. A soft breeze carries the delicate scent of jasmine and lavender, brushing your skin like a tender, invisible hand. You feel your spirit begin to soften, drawn into the calm rhythm of growth and care. Among the rows of tender shoots and blooming flowers, women move slowly, hands hovering above soil, tracing arcs with care and reverence. Their steps are deliberate, gentle, never hurried, as though the garden itself were a living hymn. Each gesture carries intention, soft prayers spoken without words, blessings placed with quiet attention. You drift closer, letting their presence and the tender glow of the garden wrap around your mind like a gentle lullaby. Sunlight falls softly through the leaves, forming dappled patterns that shift with the wind. Petals glimmer in the gentle light, dew sparkling like tiny stars scattered across green velvet. The women kneel among the plants, hands brushing the soil lightly, planting seeds that will carry life and patience into the future. Each seed is a promise, a whisper of hope, a quiet act of devotion. You feel your own heart soften with each careful motion, carried by the rhythm of nurturing and stillness. A soft hum rises from their lips, a sound as gentle as the wind through the branches. The tune is slow, flowing like a river through the garden, touching every flower, every blade of grass, every heart present. You float with it, letting the melody brush away tension, leaving only calm and serenity in its wake. The earth seems to respond, vibrant and alive beneath your fingers and underfoot, carrying the stories of countless seasons of care. The women pause to water the young plants, each drop of water a small, sacred gift. The liquid glimmers in sunlight, falling into the soil with a quiet promise of growth. You notice how the garden seems to breathe with every motion, inhaling warmth and light, exhaling calm and stillness. Every leaf, every stem, every tiny blossom seems to hum with the quiet magic of devotion, of patience, of love expressed in soft gestures. Birds hover nearby, their wings brushing the gentle air. They sing quietly, blending with the hum of the women, with the rustle of leaves and the soft trickle of a small stream running through the garden. The sound is tender, slow, a natural accompaniment to the rhythm of hands planting, watering, and tending. You drift among the branches, among the petals, letting the gentle symphony of the garden carry you toward deeper rest. In the center of the garden stands a small fountain. Its water rises in soft arcs, spilling into a pool that reflects the warm, late sunlight. The women gather around it, cupping water and sprinkling it over blossoms, each drop a blessing, a quiet wish for peace and growth. You float above the fountain, noticing how the ripples extend outward, touching every corner of the garden, carrying calm and light across each path, each stone, each tender shoot of green. Soft lanterns hang from low branches, swaying with the evening breeze. Their glow mingles with the last rays of the sun, casting gentle, moving shadows across the soil. Each lantern seems to pulse in rhythm with the women's gestures, each flicker a tender echo of the slow devotion surrounding you. You feel the glow brush your spirit, a subtle warmth that eases thought, smooths tension, and invites deep, restful calm. The women kneel once more, pressing palms gently to the soil, whispering blessings with soft breaths. Each whisper rises, mingling with the scent of flowers, the soft rustle of leaves, and the tiny murmur of flowing water. You feel the calm spread through your body, like a gentle tide flowing inward from the garden, settling every muscle, every thought, every corner of your mind. Petals fall from overhead branches, drifting like slow, luminous snowflakes. The women catch some, letting them rest in their hands or scatter across the soil. Each movement is deliberate, meditative, a prayer in motion, a soft meditation of care. You drift with the petals floating slowly down, noticing how each one seems to hold a small fragment of the garden's calm, a piece of the patience and devotion that has lingered here for countless evenings. The sun sinks fully behind the horizon, and twilight drapes the garden in soft silver light. Stars begin to glimmer overhead, mirrored in the small pools of water among the flowers. The women rise, moving slowly to gather small bowls of herbs and offerings, placing them near the roots of carefully tended plants. Their movements are soft, graceful, in harmony with the rhythm of night settling in, a quiet dance of devotion and care. You notice the subtle patterns traced in the soil, delicate impressions of hands and feet, of petals and tools. Each line, each arc, each careful gesture carries memory, wisdom, and blessing. The garden itself seems to hold these echoes, the silent resonance of years of patient tending, of whispered prayers, of gentle care extended to every living thing. You float above it all, weightless, cradled in the slow, rhythmic pulse of growth and devotion. A soft wind passes through the trees and shrubs, brushing leaves and flowers in gentle arcs. The women extend hands to feel the passing air, letting it stir petals, rustle leaves, and bend the stems of tiny blossoms. The movement is quiet, tender, and unhurried. You drift with it, carried by the soft pulse of air and shadow, feeling the garden's calm settle into your chest, into your mind, into your very bones. The fountain trickles softly, echoing the rhythm of the women's breath and the gentle sway of petals. Tiny insects stir among the flowers, their presence barely noticeable, yet each movement adds to the delicate harmony of the garden. The women kneel beside the water once more, hands resting lightly in prayerful gesture, eyes calm and serene. You float closer, noticing how each detail, light, shadow, scent, sound, folds into the soft, meditative stillness surrounding you. Lanterns flicker faintly, casting slow rhythmic shadows over soft earth. The women rise, walking slowly along paths lined with blossoms, hands brushing the tops of leaves, feeling the texture of life and care beneath their fingertips. Each step seems measured, deliberate, carrying intention and devotion. You drift with them, following the gentle rhythm, your mind softening, your heart slowing, your spirit settling into the tender embrace of the garden's calm. The stars glow more brightly now, their light mirrored in dew on leaves and flowers. The soft rustle of petals and gentle sigh of the wind create a lullaby that moves through the garden, through the women, and into your mind. You notice the quiet pulse of patience, of care extended over time, of blessings offered without expectation. Every corner of the garden breathes slowly, gently, with serene continuity. The women kneel one last time among the shoots and blossoms. Palms rest lightly upon the earth, heads bowed in soft reverence. The garden itself seems to hum with quiet energy, carrying the intentions of countless days and nights, of seeds planted and prayers whispered. You float above, weightless, carried by the rhythm of devotion, carried by the gentle pulse of life and care, feeling every worry ease into calm. Let us drift onward with the soft rhythm of leaves, water, and whispered prayers. Let the tender care of the garden, the slow growth of life, and the patient devotion of women's hands settle into your mind and heart. Now rest as the stars return, and the gentle pulse of the garden of soft prayers cradles you in its luminous embrace. The night deepens quietly, lanterns sway, petals settle, water ripples softly, and the women remain still, serene, surrounded by the calm they have cultivated. You drift with the garden, carried by the slow, gentle rhythm of growth, care, and whispered blessings. Sleep comes fully, deeply, quietly, as the soft prayers of earth, water, and heart fold around your spirit. The night has deepened, and a gentle mist rises from the river, curling softly around stone steps and silent trees. You drift along a quiet path, where the scent of earth and soft incense lingers in the air. Lanterns glow faintly, casting golden pools of light that shimmer on the mist like floating memories. The world feels hushed, as though the air itself is listening, waiting, breathing. You move gently into this calm, carried by the soft rhythm of night. Ahead, a small temple rests atop a gentle hill, its walls bathed in silver moonlight. The doors are open, revealing shadows and flickering candles within. You sense the presence of one who waits, a woman of quiet power, a keeper of wisdom and breath, known to those who seek guidance from the unseen. Her presence is not loud, not commanding, but gentle, flowing like water over smooth stones, inviting you into a space of calm and quiet reflection. Inside, the temple smells of warm wood, soft smoke, and the faint sweetness of herbs. The oracle kneels before a low altar, hands resting lightly upon it. Her eyes are closed, and her breath moves slowly, deliberately, as though each inhalation draws in the world, and each exhalation releases peace. You float closer, feeling the rhythm of her breathing echo through the quiet room, a subtle pulse that carries calm to every corner of your mind. The walls of the temple are lined with soft fabrics, their folds catching candlelight, creating gentle waves of shadow and glow. Small bowls of water and oil sit on shelves, reflecting the flickering flames. You notice the faint shimmer of moonlight falling through a narrow window, dust motes suspended in the glow, drifting slowly like tiny stars. The oracle's voice rises softly, a hum barely above the whisper of her breath, threading through the space with warmth and ease. Her words are soft, tender, almost like a sigh carried on the wind. Each syllable feels like it has been breathed directly from the heart, carrying calm, gentle meaning. The chants are slow, deliberate, rising and falling like the tide, bringing a sense of stillness to your spirit. You feel the quiet settling in, wrapping around you like a soft blanket, carrying away tension, leaving only a serene awareness of the present moment. The oracle rises slowly, robes brushing the floor, and moves with deliberate grace around the altar. Her hands extend toward the flickering candles, tracing circles in the air, guiding the flame as if speaking in silent conversation. The candlelight bends and dances around her gestures, reflecting the gentle energy that flows from her. Each motion is a soft prayer, a subtle weaving of breath, word, and light into the fabric of the room. A faint wind drifts through the open window, rustling the folds of cloth and carrying a whisper of distant trees. The oracle pauses to let the air stir her hair, her robes, and the small strands of incense smoke curling upward. You watch as the flame leans slightly, a soft dance with the wind, a subtle echo of her presence, delicate and alive. The rhythm of her gestures, the movement of air, and the flicker of light combine into a slow, gentle pulse that seems to breathe through the entire temple. She kneels once more, cupping her hands over a small bowl of water. The liquid shimmers in candlelight, reflecting not only the glow but the softness of intention and care. Her fingers trace the surface of the water slowly, letting ripples flow outward. You float above the bowl, feeling the movement of the water, the gentle spreading of calm across the temple, and the quiet weightlessness of your own spirit as it absorbs the serenity. Soft words drift from her lips again, barely audible, like the hush of leaves in a summer night. They speak not to you directly, but through the spaces between sound and silence. The room seems to lean in, listening, held in the tender sway of her voice. Every inhalation and exhalation, every breath of her song feels like a small caress, a gentle reassurance that all is as it should be, and all may rest within the calm of this quiet hour. The oracle moves toward a low table, arranging small candles and herbs with deliberate care. Each placement is thoughtful, considered, a quiet dance of devotion. You notice the subtle patterns traced in the arrangement, the way shadows fall, the reflection of candlelight on the smooth surfaces. Everything in the room flows together, a single harmonious rhythm, carrying patience and gentle attention like a soft current under your feet. Her voice rises again, a tender chant weaving through the air. The words seem both ancient and timeless, carrying the soft resonance of long-remembered wisdom. You feel the air around you vibrating softly with the sound, brushing your mind and heart with warmth. Each note of her chant is a slow heartbeat, echoing the natural rhythm of night, carrying away worry, settling thoughts, and inviting deep, peaceful calm. Lanterns sway gently in a quiet corner, their light mingling with candle glow. Shadows ripple across walls, stretching and folding like slow waves. The oracle moves among them, her hands tracing invisible arcs, guiding the soft energy that fills the room. You drift through these shadows, feeling each one brush your spirit, the slow dance of light and air bringing the quiet promise of safety and serenity. A small bell rings faintly, its tone delicate and pure, mingling with the whispers of her chant. Each vibration spreads through the room, touching every leaf of fabric, every pool of water, every flickering candle flame. You feel it ripple through your chest, slow and steady, a subtle signal that all may rest, all may be still, all may breathe in gentle harmony with the oracle's soft presence. The oracle kneels once more before the altar, hands raised slightly as if to catch the very air. Her breathing slows, deep and measured, echoing the gentle movement of the night beyond the temple walls. Outside, stars begin to glitter in the velvet sky, and the soft rustle of distant leaves joins the rhythm of her voice. You feel carried by this quiet pulse, as if every sound, every movement, every breath is a tender lullaby meant just for your spirit. Her hands trace small circles above the candles, guiding the flame, and the shadows lean softly with her motion. The air carries the faint scent of incense, a warm, comforting aroma that mingles with the natural coolness of night. You float with it, weightless, feeling the steady rhythm of her attention, the soft, deliberate unfolding of calm, the quiet devotion that surrounds every corner of the temple. She pauses, closing her eyes for a long, soft breath. You sense the stillness deepen, the gentle quiet expanding. The air feels full of care, of patient presence, of long-practiced wisdom flowing effortlessly. Each sound, each flicker of light, each soft breath becomes a slow thread in a tapestry of peace. You drift into the spaces between these threads, carried gently on the warmth of her quiet devotion. Her voice rises once more, low and tender, carrying soft prophecies, not loud or urgent, but calm and enduring. Each word seems to settle into the very walls, into the shadows, into the folds of cloth, into your own chest. They are whispers of gentle truths, reminders of the slow, patient rhythm of life, of the unseen threads that connect all living things in quiet harmony. The candles flicker softly, lanterns sway, and the incense curls upward in gentle spirals. The oracle kneels, resting her hands lightly over her heart, closing her eyes in meditation. You float above, weightless, carried by the slow ebb of energy, the gentle pulse of air, flame, and breath. Every corner of the room, every shadow, every small ripple of candlelight seems alive with soft, enduring calm. Let us drift onward with the rhythm of breath and flame, the soft murmur of water and song, the patient heartbeat of the oracle's presence. Let her quiet voice, her tender gestures, and the luminous calm of the temple settle into your spirit. Now rest as the stars return, and the oracle's breath carries you gently into peaceful sleep. The night stretches quietly. The temple listens. The candles lean toward the quiet energy. The shadows breathe with gentle movement. You drift among them, weightless, cradled by the soft, rhythmic pulse of calm. Sleep flows fully and deeply, carried by the tender presence of the oracle, the whisper of prophecy, and the enduring serenity of the night. The first light of morning spills softly over distant hills, brushing the world with gentle strokes of pink and gold. You float along a quiet path where dew clings to grass like tiny trembling stars. The air is cool, filled with the soft scent of earth, blossoms, and quiet water. A distant bird calls, a soft note that stretches across the calm morning. You feel the stillness of the dawn pressing lightly against your spirit, inviting you to move gently into the new day. At the edge of a hidden clearing, women gather, cloaked in soft fabrics that shimmer faintly in the rising sun. Their movements are slow, deliberate, each step and gesture carrying a rhythm that seems older than the hills themselves. They sway and circle, arms raised as if to greet the light, as if to whisper a greeting to the world itself. You drift closer, carried by the quiet flow of their motion, noticing the tender way each footfall brushes the dew-kissed earth. The clearing is surrounded by ancient trees, their branches reaching skyward like hands offering blessing. Sunlight filters through leaves, forming gentle patterns of light and shadow that shift as the dancers move. Each pattern seems to pulse with the rhythm of their steps, as though the forest itself joins in the dance. You float among the shifting shadows, feeling the soft harmony of body, earth, and light. letting it settle into your own chest like a calm heartbeat. Soft drums begin to sound, a distant echo that vibrates through the earth beneath your feet. The rhythm is gentle, slow, a patient wave that carries movement across the clearing. The women move in time, their bodies flowing like water over stones, like wind through the tall grass. Each motion is careful, tender, carrying the invisible thread of devotion. You drift with them, weightless, feeling the soft pulse of dawn wrap around your mind and spirit. They lift their arms in arcs toward the rising sun, fingers tracing circles in the warm light. Every gesture seems to capture a fragment of the morning's calm, weaving it into the air as though creating a tangible blessing. You notice how each movement is deliberate, not hurried, each pause and sway echoing patience, intention, and gentle joy. The air itself seems to vibrate with quiet energy, carrying the soft light of the sun into every corner of your being. Small bells tied to their ankles ring lightly, a delicate accompaniment to the slow beat of drums and rustle of fabric. Each tiny chime flows with the rhythm of the dance, layering sound like a gentle whisper across the clearing. You float above it all, noticing how the sound blends with the wind, the rustle of leaves, and the first soft songs of morning birds. Each note seems to brush against your spirit, smoothing tension, inviting calm, and cradling you in gentle serenity. The women spin softly, skirts flaring like petals opening in dawn light. Their movement is slow, fluid, like water tracing the edge of a quiet pond. The earth beneath their feet seems to respond, gentle vibrations echoing outward, carrying the sacred rhythm across the clearing. You drift among these vibrations, feeling them pulse through your body in gentle waves, releasing every thought, every worry, every strain, leaving only calm and luminous awareness. Sunlight grows stronger, casting long, tender shadows that stretch across the grass. The dancers trace these shadows with careful feet, their movements forming patterns that seem to mirror the light itself. Every step, every arc of an arm, every tilt of the head carries grace and devotion, a soft communication with the day unfolding around them. You float through the shadows, feeling the soft geometry of motion and light fold around your spirit like a warm, protective blanket. Soft laughter rises, delicate and airy, as the dancers move together in silent harmony. It is not loud, not urgent, but a gentle expression of shared joy, a quiet celebration of the morning and the rhythm of life. You feel the warmth of that joy touch you, flowing into your chest and settling there like a calm ember, glowing steadily, gently, without heat or strain. Each breath you take seems to echo the rhythm of the dance, slow, even, and serene. Some dancers lift small bowls of water, scattering droplets in soft arcs that catch the sunlight. Each droplet glimmers like a tiny star, reflecting the slow, deliberate movement of the dancer's hands. The water falls lightly on flowers, grass, and earth, a quiet blessing carried into the soil, nourishing all that it touches. You float above these droplets, feeling their gentle touch across your skin, a soft coolness that deepens your sense of calm and peace. The drums slow, the bells chime softens, and the dancers move closer to the center of the clearing. They kneel, hands pressed lightly against the earth, foreheads bowed in quiet reverence. The light of the sun now bathes the clearing fully, gentle warmth pressing against skin and spirit alike. You drift among the kneeling figures, carried by their stillness, noticing how even in pause, the dance continues, flowing as a soft, invisible current through body, earth, and breath. Petals fall from nearby trees, drifting slowly through the morning air. Some land in hair, some upon skirts. Others settle on the dewy grass. Each petal seems to carry a fragment of the day's gentle energy, a whisper of devotion and joy. You float with them, weightless, letting their slow, deliberate descent mirror the soft slowing of your own breath. Every petal, every soft chime, every whisper of the morning wind becomes a part of your serene awareness. The women rise again, moving in a single, continuous circle. Their steps are measured, deliberate, carrying both presence and quiet intention. Their arms trace gentle arcs, fingers brushing the air as if touching unseen threads of light and energy. The clearing seems to glow, filled with the calm pulse of life, devotion, and shared presence. You drift among the arcs of movement, feeling the invisible lines of rhythm and care fold softly into your own being. Birds circle overhead, their wings slicing softly through golden sunlight. They join the rhythm, calling in low, tender notes that blend with the chimes, the hum of wind, and the dancers' slow motion. You feel their presence as part of the gentle orchestra of the clearing, each small sound and motion threading together a lullaby of morning peace. Each breath, each flutter of wing, each soft movement carries a slow pulse that washes through your body, quieting every corner of thought. The women kneel once more in the center, forming a circle with joined hands. Their eyes are closed, faces lifted toward the sun, each exhaling slowly, softly, as if breathing the light itself into the world. The air seems to hold the moment in gentle suspension, a sacred pause where every breath, every heartbeat, every small motion carries meaning without urgency. You drift with them, weightless, cradled by the slow unfolding of devotion, joy, and calm. Petals and leaves swirl gently in the air, lifted by a soft, playful wind. The sun climbs higher, spilling gold across every surface, every face, every blade of grass. The clearing hums softly with energy, yet that energy is tender, meditative, and flowing. You float among it, carried by the rhythm, the warmth, the gentle pulse of the dancer's devotion, and the quiet awakening of the morning. Let us drift onward with the rhythm of slow steps, gentle arcs of arms, and whispers of joy carried on the wind. Let the calm of dawn, the soft pulse of devotion, and the quiet energy of the sacred dance of dawn settle into your spirit. Now rest as the light spreads fully across the earth, and the gentle movement of morning carries you into peaceful, deep sleep. The clearing softens, shadows fold back into themselves. Petals settle on grass and skin. The dancers kneel quietly, breathing the rhythm of morning into the earth. You drift with them, weightless, carried on the slow, tender pulse of light, movement, and devotion. Sleep flows fully and easily, cradled by the serene energy of dawn and the sacred dance that stretches across time. The morning mist still lingers over the valleys, soft and quiet like a pale veil draped across the earth. You float gently along a narrow path where dew-damp grass brushes lightly against your ankles, each blade holding the memory of night. The air is cool, carrying a faint scent of stone and earth, mixed with the delicate aroma of distant flowers. The world is hushed, as if waiting, and in this silence, the quiet echo of centuries whispers through your mind. Ahead, ruins rise gently from the earth, their stones softened by time and wind. Pillars stand in solemn grace, some cracked, some leaning, yet all exuding a calm strength. These are not monuments of conquest, but of devotion and thought. Women of old once moved through these spaces, hands brushing the carved surfaces, voices humming soft chants that carried wisdom through the ages. You drift closer, noticing the intricate lines etched into stone, delicate as the veins of a leaf, telling stories in a language of quiet reverence. A soft wind stirs, rustling through the tall grasses that embrace the ruins. It lifts loose petals from hidden gardens, carrying them in slow arcs that shimmer in the gentle light. The petals tumble lightly across the worn steps and weathered pillars, as though acknowledging the presence of those who once walked here, honoring the sacred transmission of knowledge. Each gust seems to whisper fragments of memory, delicate syllables of wisdom passed down through hands, breath, and quiet song. The women who lived here understood the sacred rhythm of reflection. Each chant was slow, deliberate, like water carving its way through stone over countless seasons. Their words were not hurried, not demanding, but patient, inviting the mind to wander softly, to pause, to notice the faint pulse of life in every stone, every shadow, every flicker of sunlight. You drift alongside their rhythm, letting the cadence of centuries settle like a gentle wave across your spirit. In the center of the ruins, a great pillar rises, carved with spirals and flowing patterns that mimic the gentle wind and the quiet curve of rivers. You float closer, tracing the outlines with your eyes, feeling the soft power of intention held in stone. The carvings are not ornate for pride or spectacle. They are tender, each line a meditation, each curve a thought, carefully preserved for the calm mind. The air vibrates faintly with the energy of these silent teachings, subtle and nurturing, like the slow heartbeat of the earth itself. Soft candles flicker in small niches, left by travelers or caretakers who honor the quiet legacy of these women. Their flames sway gently in the breeze, casting delicate shadows across walls and floors. The flicker of light seems to dance with the carvings, illuminating hidden symbols and patterns that speak in silence. You float among them, weightless, feeling the warmth seep into your chest, and the light settle softly in your mind, dissolving tension and inviting stillness. The women of this place moved with intention. Their hands, their voices, their very presence carried the invisible threads of knowledge. They taught through silence as much as through sound, through gesture as much as through word. You imagine them walking along these pillars, whispering chants that rise like soft smoke into the morning air, each syllable carrying a calm echo into the future. The echoes linger still, folded into the very stones, waiting for hearts ready to receive them. A distant bird calls, its song tender and slow, weaving through arches and pillars. You drift alongside the sound, noticing how it mingles with the rustle of leaves and the soft creak of weathered stone. Every sound, every motion here is gentle, deliberate, and slow. Each breath of wind and each note of song feels like a guide, helping the mind release thought after thought, settling deeper into quiet reflection. The ruins open into a small courtyard, where moss and soft grass cushion your path. Here the pillars form a circle, and in the circle lies a shallow basin, water still and clear. You notice reflections of pillars and sky in the water, each image slightly trembling, merging with the light and shadow around it. The women of old would gather here, hands lightly touching the surface, whispering blessings, observing the dance of reflection. You drift closer to the basin, letting your gaze linger, watching the water carry the soft echoes of wisdom across its surface, folding serenity into your own heart. Some pillars bear small carvings of celestial patterns, stars, moons, and the sun, arranged with care to map cycles of life and thought. You notice how the sun filters through the pillars, striking patterns of light that slowly shift as the day rises. These beams move across walls, stones, and your spirit, carrying the quiet rhythm of time, reminding you that wisdom is a gentle unfolding, not a hurried arrival. You drift along with the shifting light, feeling its warmth and calm pulse settle softly into your awareness. Soft incense curls upward from hidden niches, its smoke weaving delicate lines into the air. The scent is faint, earthy, and floral, inviting a slow exhale, a gentle pause. You drift through the curling smoke, feeling it brush your face, brushing against your thoughts and carrying them into soft, still air. Each breath you take is a part of the rhythm of this sacred space, a quiet echo of the devotion of women who tended it long ago. The women preserved knowledge not only in stone but in song. Soft chants rise, sometimes barely audible, drifting through arches and across broken steps. Each chant is a lullaby for the mind, a gentle guide for reflection. The words carry no urgency, no demand, only the patient unfolding of insight. You float with the sound, letting it settle into your chest, each note a gentle ripple across the calm waters of your spirit. Moss-covered stones provide seats for quiet meditation. You imagine the women sitting here, backs straight yet relaxed, eyes closed, hands resting lightly in their laps. The air hums softly with the energy of their focus, a calm vibration that stretches across space and time. You drift among the stones, weightless, absorbing the slow pulse of devotion, noticing how it resonates in your own body, releasing tension, inviting rest, and whispering wisdom without words. The wind rises lightly, carrying petals and small leaves across the courtyard. Each flutters slowly, brushing against stone and air, a gentle reminder of the softness and impermanence of life. You float with the petals, feeling their slow, deliberate descent mirror your own slowing breath, your own gentle movement into calm and sleep. The ruins themselves seem to breathe, inhaling and exhaling in perfect rhythm with the wind, with the stones, with the faint echoes of ancient voices. The pillars stand quietly, guardians of knowledge, of devotion, of time itself. Each one holds a memory, a lesson, a fragment of gentle wisdom. As you drift among them, you notice the subtle ways the stones curve, the lines carved carefully to invite reflection rather than awe, to cradle the mind rather than overwhelm. Each pillar is a teacher, each shadow a companion, each beam of light a guide, carrying you deeper into a soft, meditative calm. The sun climbs higher, and yet the space retains its gentle hush. The courtyard glows softly, the water still mirrors the light, and the pillars continue to hum their quiet resonance. You drift with the movement of air, the subtle warmth of sun, the echoes of chants, and the slow rustle of leaves. Your spirit folds into the rhythm, carried by the calm devotion of women who preserved this wisdom, letting it cradle every corner of thought and heart. Let us drift onward with the soft pulse of pillars, the gentle whisper of carvings, and the quiet flow of chants carried on the wind. Let the still water, the warm light, and the calm air settle fully into your chest. Now rest, as the stones themselves hold you in serenity, as the echoes of hidden wisdom wrap gently around your mind, and the quiet pulse of devotion guides you into deep, peaceful sleep. The courtyard softens into shadow and light. Petals rest on moss, water mirrors the sky, and the pillars stand silently, timeless. You drift weightless, carried on the rhythm of devotion, reflection, and gentle care. Sleep flows fully and easily, cradled by the soft echo of wisdom, the tender pulse of the ruins, and the serene heart of women who preserved knowledge in stone and song. The first light of dawn stretches slowly across the hills, spilling soft gold over misted valleys. You float quietly along a gentle path, where the earth is damp with dew, and the scent of wet stones and moss drifts gently through the air. Somewhere nearby, a small stream gurgles, its voice tender and slow, carrying the soft rhythm of water moving across the land. You follow its sound, letting each ripple guide your thoughts into stillness, each gentle wave carrying you farther from worry and closer to calm. In the heart of a hidden grove, the waters gather into a shallow pool, its surface smooth and mirror-like. Around it, ferns and wildflowers lean over, their petals trembling softly in the morning breeze. Here, women of ancient ways once performed rituals of healing, their hands hovering above the water, their chants tender, unhurried. They moved with reverence, with care, aware that each drop of water carried the touch of the earth and the breath of the sky. You drift closer, feeling the calm energy of this sacred place wrap gently around you, like a soft shawl of light and air. The water glimmers in the early light, tiny ripples reflecting the sun like scattered diamonds. You notice how each movement of the water seems to respond to the whispers of the women who tended it long ago, their presence still lingering in the quiet. They sang soft melodies, and their voices merged with the murmur of streams and the rustle of leaves. You can almost hear them, a chorus of gentle encouragement, a lullaby for the weary soul. Every note is deliberate, every pause intentional, allowing your mind to float along the current of sound, slow and peaceful. Some waters were warm, rising from hidden springs beneath the earth. The steam curled softly, carrying a faint scent of minerals and warmth, inviting the body and spirit to relax. You drift along the edge of a hot spring, feeling the invisible touch of heat that soothes and calms. The women guiding the rituals would immerse themselves or lay their hands upon the waters, allowing the liquid to carry intentions of healing and care. The warmth penetrates not only the body but the mind, melting the tight knots of thought, leaving only calm and quiet reverence. The trees surrounding the pools sway lightly in the breeze, their leaves murmuring gentle songs. Shadows shift slowly over the water, dancing in soft rhythm with the sunlight. You float with the motion, noticing how the light and shadow interact with the smooth surface, how the reflections ripple with quiet grace. The women of these sacred waters understood the subtle conversation between earth, water, and sky. Each ripple in the pool mirrored the ripple of intention in their hearts, and each intention carried gentle healing into the air, into the land, and into all who came near. Some rituals were as simple as a slow passage of hands across water, letting the fingers trace circles, lines, and spirals. Each gesture was a prayer, each movement a meditation. You drift along the edge, imagining the care, the patience, the quiet mindfulness of these women. Their chants rise softly, carried on the breeze, mingling with the gentle sound of water. The melody is not hurried. It does not demand attention. Instead, it invites your mind to slow, to drift alongside the sacred flow, allowing your heart and body to settle into gentle calm. Wildflowers lean over the edges of streams, petals grazing the surface as if curious about the world beneath. Water lilies float lazily, their soft faces catching the light and reflecting it back in muted warmth. You notice the small details, the tiny ripple caused by a falling leaf, the glimmer of dew along the roots of a tree, the soft sigh of air through reeds. Each observation is a gentle invitation to presence, to quiet noticing, to a peaceful surrender to the moment. The women of these waters carried this awareness in every movement, every chant, every tender brush of hands across the surface. Some streams led to sacred rivers, winding slowly through forests and fields, carrying their gentle message far from the source. You drift beside them, noticing the way the water curves around stones, flowing over pebbles and roots, smoothing edges over time. The rivers carried both water and wisdom, teaching patience through motion and reflection. The women would walk along the banks, guiding pilgrims, offering herbs, murmuring blessings. Every footstep, every breath, every whisper of voice added to the river's calm, echoing in soft cadence through the mind of anyone who paused to listen. Small pools within the rivers collected warmth from the sun, and the women would gather there, drawing water into bowls, dipping hands to touch foreheads, hearts, and arms, infusing the sacred liquid with gentle intention. You imagine the warmth of the sun on your face, the softness of water trailing over your skin, the quiet energy settling into your being. It is a rhythm of care, a slow unfolding of compassion that stretches beyond the self and touches all who come near. You float with the energy, feeling your body soften, your thoughts quiet, your heart expanding into gentle serenity. Pebbles beneath the water shift slowly, as fish glide beneath the surface. Tiny ripples follow, merging with the currents that have moved through countless generations. The women understood the life flowing in every stream, the delicate balance of water, earth, and air. They moved with it, never rushing, never forcing, simply offering their presence and guidance. You drift with the flow, feeling the same ease settle into your chest, the same quiet pulse extend into your mind, carrying away tension and leaving only gentle reflection. The chants rise again, soft and airy, barely above the sound of moving water. They speak not in words of command, but in breath and tone, guiding the listener into a deep, slow rhythm. Each vibration is subtle, each pause a space for stillness. You feel your own breath slowing, echoing the cadence of the waters, merging with the gentle flow of river and stream. The sacred intention of healing, the patient care of the women, is a blanket of serenity wrapped lightly around your spirit. Some rituals included laying hands over water, then over ailing bodies, imagining the energy of the water spreading quietly into limbs and hearts. The women did not hurry. They did not speak loudly. Their movements were soft, deliberate, filled with mindful presence. You float with them, feeling invisible ripples of care moving through the air, through the water, and through yourself. Each ripple resonates as a slow exhale, a gentle pulse of calm, a reminder that healing often comes in stillness and patience, carried quietly in love. In certain places, small pools were enclosed by stone or wood, creating tiny sanctuaries. Within them, the light filters softly through leaves, casting dappled patterns that move slowly across the surface. You drift among these spaces, noticing the interplay of light, water, and shadow, the gentle choreography of nature and devotion. Here, the heart of healing is not loud or showy. It is subtle, quiet, and enduring. It invites reflection, patience, and a soft awareness of the present moment. The sound of water is everywhere, trickling, gurgling, rippling over stones. It carries the weight of centuries, the quiet devotion of women who tended it, and the soft promise of renewal. You float with it, letting the sound guide your thoughts into stillness, your body into relaxation. Each ripple mirrors a gentle beat of your own heart, each wave a soft exhale, each current a tender cradle for your spirit. Some rivers eventually spill into lakes, where the water lies calm and expansive. The women would gather at the edges, leaving offerings of flowers, stones, or soft chants carried into the air. You drift beside them, feeling the soft intention of each gesture, the slow ripple of care moving outward into the water, and in turn, into yourself. The stillness here is profound, not empty, but full of quiet presence, a sanctuary for mind and spirit alike. Let us drift onward with the sacred waters, following their gentle twists and turns, their slow rise and fall, their quiet songs of healing. Let your mind float with the current, your breath echoing the pulse of streams, rivers, and pools. Let the tender embrace of water, devotion, and patient care carry you deeper into serenity. Now rest, as the waters continue to move, soft and eternal, as the whispers of healing touch every part of your being, and the gentle pulse of sacred devotion lulls you into deep, calm sleep. Night descends softly over rolling hills and quiet valleys. The air carries a tender chill, scented faintly with pine and earth. You float gently above the ground, moving slowly, almost weightless, as the first stars begin to shimmer in the deepening sky. The horizon is painted with gentle indigo, and the moon rests like a soft pearl, casting its silver glow across the land. You follow its light, letting your eyes soften, letting your mind drift with each gentle twinkle. Above, constellations begin to take shape. They are not merely stars, they are stories, whispers of the heavens, patterns carefully traced by ancient women who watched the sky with reverence and love. Their eyes were attuned to the slow dance of night, their minds tuned to the quiet rhythm of the cosmos. You drift beside them, feeling the same sense of wonder, the same gentle curiosity, the same tender awareness that the stars are not distant, but close enough to touch through the imagination. The women of the sacred sky would gather in open clearings, away from the hum of the world, sitting or kneeling on soft earth. Their hands rested lightly on stones, on herbs, or simply upon their own laps. They whispered to the stars in soft tones, letting their voices mingle with the hush of night. Each word was a breath, each pause a space for listening. You feel the rhythm of their calm as if it flows into your own chest. A slow pulse of presence, gentle and steady. Stars shimmer in clusters, forming shapes that are both familiar and mysterious. A hunter, a swan, a gentle mother with an infant. Each constellation carries a story passed down through countless nights. The women of old read these stories slowly, letting each star guide their attention, their intentions, and their meditations. You float among them, noticing how their gaze rises and falls, how each gesture is deliberate, soft, and unhurried. There is no rush, only the slow unfolding of understanding, like a flower opening in the quiet of dawn. The sky feels close, as if each star is breathing with the earth below. The women would trace the lines between lights with their fingers, imagining the connections, imagining the gentle guidance offered by the cosmos. Each pattern was a lullaby, a calm story for the soul, a tender nudge toward inner peace. You follow the imaginary lines, letting your mind drift with them, feeling each connection settle softly into your being, a gentle thread weaving through your heart. Sometimes, a shooting star crosses the sky. Its path is brief, luminous, a delicate arc of silver and gold. The women would watch quietly, knowing that even brief moments carry significance. Each passing light is a blessing, a soft reminder that the universe is alive, breathing slowly, patiently, and tenderly. You feel the same quiet awe settle within you, a gentle expansion of awareness, a soft opening of the mind to calm and serenity. The women often brought offerings to these sacred nights, tiny bowls of water, small petals, herbs that released their fragrance under moonlight. They laid them on the earth or at the edge of pools, letting them mirror the stars above. Each offering was a gesture of gratitude, a soft reflection of devotion. You drift among these offerings, feeling the quiet reverence that each one carries, imagining the soft fragrance of petals mingling with the cool night air, wrapping the senses in a tender embrace. The constellations move slowly, imperceptibly, as the night deepens. The women rise occasionally, their robes brushing softly against the grass, their feet light on the earth. They raise their hands or bow their heads, letting the movements align with the slow pulse of the universe. You float alongside them, feeling the same ease in each movement, the same unhurried grace, the same tender rhythm. The stars above respond, not in sound but in presence, shimmering softly, guiding, watching, and offering quiet reassurance. Owls call softly in the distance. A gentle wind stirs the trees. The women smile faintly at these sounds, letting them become part of the meditation. The universe speaks in whispers, and they listen with patience. You notice the soft interplay between earth and sky, the way the night holds all things gently, without hurry or tension. Each breath you take echoes the rhythm of the stars, the rhythm of ancient devotion, the rhythm of calm and safety. Some women would tell stories aloud, their voices low and measured, describing the stars' journeys across the sky, the slow passage of moons and the secret rhythms of planets. Their words were not loud. They were meant to ripple softly through the air, to merge with the night, and to settle in the minds and hearts of listeners. You drift with these stories, each phrase a slow wave washing over your consciousness, each pause a space for quiet reflection and gentle rest. Lanterns or small fires sometimes lit the clearings, their light soft and golden, echoing the silver shimmer of stars above. Shadows moved slowly, elongating and shrinking as the flames flickered. The women's faces glowed softly, serene, attentive, full of the same tender care that touched their constellations. You feel the warmth of this light mingle with the cool night air, a gentle balance, a soft cradle for your mind, encouraging deep relaxation. In some nights, they would draw patterns on sand, aligning them with the stars, letting the grains reflect the constellations above. Circles, spirals, and intersecting lines became a meditation, a gentle act of connection between earth and sky. You drift among these patterns, feeling the curves and spirals echo inside you, a quiet rhythm that guides your breath and slows your thoughts. Each line is a soft bridge, each curve a tender path into serenity. Sometimes a soft rain would begin, barely more than a mist, touching leaves and faces alike. The women welcomed it, seeing it as a gift from the heavens, a cleansing, a soft renewal. The stars peeked through the gentle curtain of moisture, glimmering faintly, guiding the night with patient light. You float within this rainfall, feeling it cool your skin, cleanse your thoughts, and carry gentle peace through every corner of your being. They whispered wishes to the stars, not loud or demanding, but as if sharing secrets with a trusted friend. The sky received each one without judgment, without haste, reflecting back the soft energy of patience and care. You imagine your own heart releasing into the same sky, your wishes becoming whispers, carried on the silver light of constellations. Each thought drifts softly into the night, joining the eternal flow of calm and gentle guidance. The women sometimes sang, their voices low, almost like a hum carried by wind. Each note is deliberate, each pause filled with stillness. The melody rises and falls with the natural rhythm of the night, harmonizing with the rustle of leaves, the ripple of distant streams, and the soft cry of nocturnal creatures. You feel the vibration settle deep within you, a gentle resonance that encourages every muscle, every thought, every beat of the heart, to slow and rest. As hours pass, the stars continue their slow journey, the constellations tracing their arcs across the sky. The women lay down, leaning gently against soft grass, letting the night surround them like a blanket. You float beside them, feeling the soft pulse of earth beneath, the tender embrace of night around, and the eternal calm of the sacred sky above. The universe watches quietly, tenderly, cradling all who are present in a rhythm as old as time itself. Let us drift onward, carried by the slow shimmer of stars, the quiet guidance of the women who watched before us, and the tender lullaby of night. Let your mind float with the constellations, your breath echo their gentle rhythm, your heart softened by the calm energy of the sacred sky. Now rest. As the stars continue their quiet passage across the heavens, as the soft whispers of devotion linger in the air, and as the night holds you tenderly, wrapped in the eternal embrace of cosmic calm. Twilight drifts slowly across the forest, brushing the tallest trees with the softest gold. You float along a quiet path, cushioned by moss and fallen leaves, each step a gentle sigh beneath your feet. The air smells of earth, rain, and old wood, carrying a hint of herbs and incense that have lingered from rituals long past. Shadows stretch and bend with the fading light, and the world feels vast yet intimate, like a secret held in your own hands. Amid the trees stands the temple, a quiet sanctuary built with care, each stone and timber resting in gentle harmony with the forest. Its walls are alive with the hush of leaves brushing against one another, creating a soft, continuous murmur, a song older than any voice. The women who live here move like whispers themselves, careful and deliberate, listening to every rustle, every shift of the air. You float along with them, feeling the soft pulse of the forest settle into your own heart. The temple is open to the sky, yet shaded by branches, heavy with green. Light filters through, falling in scattered patches across the stone floors. Each ray is a touch, warm and delicate, illuminating small offerings placed on ledges and alcoves. Flowers rest in bowls of water, their petals drifting softly, carrying their subtle scent into the quiet hall. Candles flicker gently, their flames bending like reeds in a calm wind. You watch them and feel your thoughts slow, folding inward, like leaves curling at night. The women are seated in circles beneath the tallest trees, their bodies still, their eyes closed, their breath even and gentle. They do not rush. There is no hurry here. Their focus is soft, like a calm river flowing beneath the surface, unseen yet powerful. Each woman listens to the subtle sounds of the temple, the leaves brushing, the faint drip of water, the distant call of birds settling in their nests. These sounds are prayers soft as silk, and you allow them to cradle your mind in their rhythm. Some of the leaves tremble in the evening breeze, whispering across one another as if speaking secrets meant only for those who are quiet enough to hear. The women smile faintly, lips unmoving, acknowledging the messages hidden in the rustle. You sense that in this place every sound has meaning, yet no words are required. The forest itself is a teacher, and the guardians of this temple guide the lessons with patience and tender attention. Small bells hang from branches and eaves, ringing only when a hand brushes against them. The sound is delicate, a crystalline thread that winds through the temple air, touching every corner with its soft chime. Each note encourages a breath, a pause, a gentle acknowledgement of presence. You drift with the sound, letting it ripple through your chest and shoulders, carrying away the edges of thought, leaving only stillness and calm. At the heart of the temple stands a pool of clear water, smooth as glass, reflecting both the trees and the sky above. The women gather near its edge, dipping their hands lightly, sending small ripples that bend and fold the reflection. The water glimmers, holding the memory of the forest and the fleeting light of the evening. You float near it, letting the calm of the ripples brush against your own mind, smoothing every thought into gentle quiet. Some women write small prayers on thin leaves, letting the wind carry them to other trees, other corners of the temple. The leaves drift slowly, twirling and turning, leaving trails of soft movement in the fading light. You follow one as it spins, noting the care with which it travels, and sense that every movement is deliberate, every rustle a blessing. Even the simplest actions here are infused with reverence, and your mind learns to mirror their patience, to flow in harmony with the rhythm of the leaves. A woman rises quietly, moving toward the pool with a small bowl of water. She kneels, her movements deliberate, attentive. She touches the water lightly, letting it tremble, sending faint concentric circles outward. You notice the gentle care in her touch, the way she listens to the water's response, the way her breath matches the motion of the ripples. You feel your own breath align, slow and soft, moving in harmony with the world around you. Some of the women chant, their voices low, blending seamlessly with the whispers of leaves. The words are long, flowing, and without urgency. They speak of peace, of the forest, of unseen currents that guide all life. The sound carries through the branches, brushing against your ears, winding into your chest, settling in your heart like warm light. You allow the rhythm to enfold you, each syllable a gentle tide washing over tension, smoothing your mind into quietude. The temple is alive with quiet movement, yet nothing disturbs the calm. Birds settle on branches, their feathers ruffling softly. Small creatures move along the undergrowth, careful not to break the stillness. You watch these motions as if through soft glass, aware of their gentle presence, but untouched by worry or concern. The forest and the temple are one, and the women serve as bridges, guiding attention to the subtle, the tender, the unnoticed beauty of quiet life. Some women light incense in delicate burners, the smoke spiraling upward in soft, twisting threads. You notice how the smoke curls in response to the slightest drafts, how it moves with intention yet without force. Each wisp seems to carry a whispered message, a blessing for anyone willing to listen. You breathe it in, feeling the warmth and scent settle in your chest, your mind, your shoulders. Every inhalation invites a deeper calm. Every exhalation releases tension, letting the mind drift further into the gentle embrace of the forest temple. As the sun sinks lower, patches of moonlight begin to filter through the highest branches, mingling with the remaining golden rays. The interplay of light and shadow dances across the temple floor, across the women seated beneath the trees, across the water and leaves. You follow the movement, your eyes soft, your mind quieting further with every slow shift of light. The guardians of this temple understand the subtle power of balance, the quiet majesty of patience, and you feel it echo through every part of yourself. The women pause in their meditation, letting the forest breathe into them, letting the pool mirror the sky and the trees above. Their presence is still yet potent, a soft energy that radiates outward. You float beside them, absorbing the calm, noticing how each small gesture, touching a leaf, adjusting a flame, whispering a prayer, creates an echo of serenity that fills every space. The temple itself seems to hum, a low, comforting resonance that vibrates through stone, wood and leaf, through water, air, and the quiet corners of your mind. At times, a single leaf drifts downward, falling slowly to the ground, carried by invisible currents. The women watch it, eyes soft, tracing its journey with gentle attention. You follow its path, feeling the slow rhythm of descent, a lesson in patience, in letting go, in allowing movement without resistance. Each leaf, each ripple, each rustle is a note in a quiet symphony, a lullaby woven from the tender threads of life itself. Eventually the sky darkens fully, and the temple glows only with the soft flicker of lamps and candles. The women remain in meditation, their breathing slow, even, in tune with the pulse of the night. You feel the last traces of tension dissolve, leaving your mind soft, your thoughts gentle, your heart calm. The whispers of leaves, the quiet ripples in the pool, the slow dance of incense smoke, all blend into one serene current, carrying you deeper into rest. Let us drift onward now, carried by the rustle of leaves and the quiet devotion of those who guard this sacred space. Let the temple teach the stillness that lives in every moment, the patience that softens every thought. Let your mind float on the gentle music of the forest, letting every sigh, every ripple, every whisper guide you toward calm. Now rest. As the leaves continue their soft whispers, as the women remain in quiet meditation, and as the temple of trees cradles your spirit in tender care. Night settles softly over the ancient temples, wrapping stones and walls in a gentle shadow. The air is warm and still, carrying the faint scent of incense and herbs, whispers of times long past. You float along the quiet paths, stepping lightly, as if the earth itself remembers the careful footsteps of those who came before. Lanterns glow dimly in the distance, their light flickering gently, like a heartbeat made visible. Inside the temples, the air hums with a subtle, constant warmth. There is no hurry here, no demand, only the soft pulse of care and devotion. Women move gracefully among the hearths, their hands steady, their movements deliberate yet tender. Each gesture tends to a flame, small but eternal, a quiet light that refuses to fade. You drift beside them, feeling the calm that radiates from these flames, a warmth that touches not just the skin but the heart. These flames are not merely fire. They are the quiet reflection of inner peace, the gentle presence of devotion, a soft beacon in the deep night. The women who guard them do so with patience and love, knowing that even a single spark can hold centuries of guidance and protection. You watch as one woman leans close to a hearth, her fingers tracing the air near the flame without touching it. Her eyes are soft, attentive, full of tender care. You feel your own breath slow, following her rhythm, becoming lighter, gentler. The temples are silent, but for the occasional flicker of flame and the soft sigh of a breeze through carved doors. Shadows move lazily across the walls, stretching and shrinking like liquid silk. Each hearth is tended with ritual, each flame fed with a small offering, oil, herbs, or whispered words. The women chant softly, their voices low, rolling gently through the halls like a slow river. You float through the sound, feeling it settle deep within, soothing every corner of the mind. Some flames burn in small vessels, delicate cups of bronze or clay, while others sit in wide stone hearths, their glow filling the room with warmth. Each flame holds a story of care, of attention, of patience. You notice the care taken to shield each flame from wind or draft, to keep it steady, gentle, alive. The women bend lightly over each one, bowing their heads, moving with the slow, deliberate rhythm of the universe itself. The guardians of these flames have learned that devotion is not loud. It does not shout or demand attention. It moves softly, like a slow current beneath a calm surface. You sense this calm in the careful way each woman lifts a pinch of oil, the way she smooths her hand above the flame without disturbing it, the way her eyes rest on it with reverence. Even from a distance, you feel the peace radiating outward, touching you as if you too are part of this quiet ritual. Some of the flames stand near windows, where moonlight drifts across their gentle glow. The light of the moon mixes with the firelight, silver merging with gold, creating a soft, warming hue that settles on every stone and every face. The women watch these mingling lights, tracing their patterns with slow, attentive movements, as if reading a gentle message from the universe. You follow their gaze, letting your mind trace the soft arcs of light, feeling each curve echo in your own heart, each shimmer bringing ease to your thoughts. There are small bells, two, tucked into corners, rung only softly when the flame is fed or tended. Each chime drifts through the temple, a delicate ripple that marks time in the most tender way. You hear it and feel the calm deepen, as though the sound has brushed across your mind, smoothing the edges of tension, softening every thought into gentle rest. Outside, the world sleeps beneath a quilt of stars. The temple walls seem to hold a fragment of that sky, each flame a reflection of the constellations above. You sense how the guardian's care links the earth to the heavens, how devotion acts as a bridge between the seen and unseen. Each flicker of fire echoes a distant light. Each warm breath in the temple mirrors the slow, eternal pulse of the universe. You float in this quiet harmony, feeling yourself aligned with the rhythm of fire, earth, and sky. The women pause at times, resting their hands, their eyes soft and still. They do not speak. There is no need. The flames continue their gentle dance, responding to care, to attention, to the love woven into every movement. You drift beside them, feeling your own energy slow, fold inward, like the petals of a flower closing against the night. Some flames are set within courtyards, open to the sky, yet carefully shielded by low walls or stone. Here the women walk slowly among the small fires, their movements creating a rhythm of protection and blessing. The air carries the scent of burning herbs, faint and sweet, mingling with the cool night wind. You follow them, inhaling the softness of the aroma, feeling it settle over your shoulders, your chest, your mind. Each breath is a quiet anchor, a gentle tether to stillness. Every so often, one of the women will tilt her head listening. Perhaps she hears a distant bell, a soft rustle of leaves, or the faint trickle of water in a nearby spring. Her attention is not tense, it is tender. Every sound becomes part of the rhythm, part of the music of devotion. You notice how her calm is not passive, it is active, present, protective. The flames respond, brightening ever so slightly, acknowledging the care, the gentle guardianship. Some of the older flames have burned for years, decades, perhaps centuries. They hold layers of ritual, soft stories, and memories of the women who came before. You sense these layers as gentle echoes, like a soft echo of laughter or a quiet sigh of contentment. The guardians honor these legacies, tending the flames with humility and love, understanding that they are not merely sustaining fire, but a thread of continuity that connects past, present, and future. In corners of the temple, small flames illuminate quiet carvings, soft inscriptions in stone that speak of devotion, patience, and care. The women move their hands lightly over these surfaces, tracing them with reverence, letting their fingers feel the stories embedded in the rock. You float along, sensing the weightlessness of this practice, feeling the soft pulse of history, the gentle affirmation that care and attention preserve not only light, but the spirit itself. Some guardians perform the same ritual at night, repeating movements learned long ago, their actions as gentle and steady as the stars outside. Each stroke of oil, each whisper, each soft gesture is a prayer, an offering of calm. You drift beside them, following the quiet current, feeling each motion settle like a stone in water, smooth and grounding. The night deepens, and the temple becomes a vessel, a container for the slow rhythm of care. Sometimes the women will lift their hands, letting the soft glow reflect across their faces. The warmth of the flames mingles with the gentle chill of night, creating a balance of comfort and alertness, a lullaby for the spirit. You feel yourself floating within this balance, breathing in the peace, exhaling tension, allowing every muscle, every thought, every flicker of mind to soften and release. Outside, the world remains silent, wrapped in night. Inside, the guardians continue their watch, tending each flame as if it were the only one in existence. Their patience teaches the language of stillness, the quiet communication of care. You sense that the flame does not need words or grandeur. It thrives on the gentle attention, the soft devotion, the rhythm of presence. You drift among them, and the same calm settles into your chest, your shoulders, your mind. Finally, the night begins to fold toward dawn. The first soft light brushes the horizon, pale and gentle like the faintest whisper. The guardians pause, watching as their flames glow against the incoming light, unchanged yet subtly transformed, carrying both the quiet of night and the promise of morning. You drift slowly away, leaving the hearths and guardians behind, yet carrying the warmth, the calm, the tender protection of the quiet flames within yourself. Let us drift onward now, guided by the soft pulse of devotion, the gentle warmth of flickering lights, and the enduring calm of careful hearts. Allow the memory of the guardian's patience to settle deep, a soft shield for your own spirit. Now rest, as the flames continue their eternal watch, as the quiet night folds into gentle morning, and as the light of tender care lingers softly within you. Night has fallen fully, drawing a soft blanket of indigo across the sky. Stars glimmer faintly, like distant lanterns guiding the quiet hearts below. You drift slowly, your thoughts softening as the world narrows into the hush of twilight. The air is cool, carrying whispers of flowers that close their petals for the night, and the faint scent of herbs burned earlier, lingering as a gentle reminder of presence and devotion. Through the stillness, you enter a sacred garden. Shadows stretch across the soft grass, bending beneath ancient trees whose leaves murmur softly in the breeze. The trees seem to lean closer as if to share a secret, their branches swaying without urgency. Each rustle is a note in a song older than time, a lullaby whispered by the earth itself. You float among the trees, feeling the calm seep into your bones, into every slow, even breath. Among the trees, figures move quietly, women whose presence radiates gentle warmth. They do not speak loudly. Their voices are soft, like the brush of feathers against skin, like the wind threading through leaves. Each step they take is deliberate, as though the ground itself remembers their touch. Their robes drift around them, light as mist, carrying the faint scent of incense, of flowers, of earth. You notice the rhythm of their movement, a slow dance that asks nothing, commands nothing, yet speaks of devotion and care in every motion. Some women gather near a small pool, the water still and clear, mirroring the night sky above. They dip their fingers into the surface, sending ripples outward, each circle spreading slowly, intentionally, like the careful unfolding of a song. You watch as the ripples touch one another, overlapping and blending, and you feel your own thoughts expand and merge, softening against the edges of the day's memory. The pool holds light from the stars, and in its gentle reflection, you sense a calm that is both tender and eternal. Softly, a voice rises, carrying a lullaby through the night. It is not loud, nor is it hurried. It moves like a gentle stream through the garden. The women take turns, singing in turns or together, a chorus woven of warmth and patience. The melody is simple, slow, stretching each note like a sigh, each pause like a soft exhale. You feel it move through the air, around your shoulders, into your chest, until every corner of your being vibrates with the subtle rhythm of care. The leaves above sway gently to the song, each rustle a faint response. The women bow their heads toward the trees, acknowledging the whispers of wind and the quiet murmur of life all around. The garden listens, as if the earth itself holds its breath, cradling the melody in its soil, in its roots, in the soft, dark spaces between stones and shadows. You are aware of this presence, and your mind softens further, floating in the lullaby's current, carried away from worry or thought, resting in gentle trust. Some of the women light candles along winding paths, placing them in niches carved from stone, their flames small but steady, flickering in a slow, peaceful rhythm. The warm glow spills softly across the garden, pooling around flowers and fountains, touching the edges of leaves and the curve of the water's reflection. Each flame seems to breathe, inhaling darkness and exhaling light, a quiet rhythm you match in your own chest. You notice how each flame moves without haste, how it bends without struggle, how it insists on being gentle. The women begin to hum, low and even, a melody without beginning or end. It mingles with the rustling leaves and the gentle lap of water, blending into a fabric of sound that stretches across the garden. You feel it settle in your mind, smoothing jagged edges, quieting small anxieties. Every note is a feather, every pause a soft pillow, every resonance a gentle wave that rocks you toward deeper calm. The song does not ask for attention. It offers it freely, and you accept, allowing your body and mind to float along in its tender embrace. Some women approach the small fountains, letting water fall in careful patterns, each drop a quiet drumbeat, steady and slow. The sound blends seamlessly with the lullaby, creating layers of gentle rhythm that echo across stone and leaf. You imagine the water as a soft hand brushing your thoughts, washing away strain, leaving only clarity wrapped in warmth. Each drop is a story of devotion, each ripple a moment of care, each pause a gentle reminder that rest is sacred. The moon climbs higher, spilling silver across the garden. Its light touches the faces of the women, the leaves, the rippling water, transforming the night into a gentle sanctuary of silver and shadow. You feel the hush of the garden deepen with the moonlight, the lullaby softening as it flows into every corner of the space. The night is alive yet still, full yet empty of worry. You sense the sacredness of pause, the power of gentle attention, the quiet magic of love given softly, without demand. Some women raise their hands slightly, letting their fingers trace slow arcs through the air, as if painting the night with invisible ink. Each movement is careful, fluid, deliberate, flowing with the rhythm of the song, the rustle of leaves, and the murmur of water. You follow the motions with your eyes closed, imagining each curve and line carrying care, patience, and devotion into the space between stars and soil. Each gesture is a reminder that even the simplest motion can hold sacredness when done with attention and love. The lullaby winds through the branches and across the paths, reaching every quiet nook of the garden. It folds gently around your shoulders, your chest, your head, until you feel cradled in a cocoon of sound and warmth. You notice the softness in your own breathing, the gentle rhythm of inhalation and exhalation, matching the ebb and flow of the song, the rustle of leaves, the trickle of water. Your body relaxes, your mind softens, your spirit feels held. Some women sit near small fires, tending the embers, letting the warmth reach the cool edges of night. Their eyes are soft, focused, yet gentle, their movements careful and unhurried. Each spark that rises is a tiny star of its own, joining the larger constellation of light in the sky. You follow the sparks as they float, letting them carry your mind further from worry, further into peace. Each ember is a story of care, each flicker a note in the night's lullaby, each glow a quiet promise of protection. The song slows. The leaves slow. The water slows. Your own breath slows. Time itself seems to fold into gentle folds of calm, stretching endlessly, yet weightless. The women finish the last notes of their lullaby, letting silence fall like a soft blanket over the garden. In this silence, you feel every sound that came before as a memory, each note lingering gently, each pause echoing softly within your own chest. The garden exhales with you. The trees sway slowly in farewell, and the last light of moon reflects on water and stone. You float in this stillness, held by the devotion of the women, the calm of the night, the tender embrace of the lullaby that has passed like a gentle tide. Your mind is quiet, your heart is soft, your body rests. All is serene. Let us drift onward now, carried by the memory of the lullaby, the soft steps of guardians, the rustling leaves, and the gentle night. Let the echoes of devotion wrap around your mind, cradling every thought, every sigh, every heartbeat. The garden, the women, the water, the trees, all remain holding you safely, tenderly, as sleep draws near. Now rest, as the stars return in their quiet watch, as the last lullaby settles in your heart, and as the divine whispers of care enfold your spirit in gentle, eternal peace.